when you're young, when you're like 18, when you're in your 20s, don't get wrapped up in this idea of figuring out what career, what job you fit into, because there's no job that should be your identity. That's not who you are. And if you do figure out something that you're good at or that you like, then you'll fall into the trap of making that your identity. And so then if you're not able to get a job, or if you lose a job in the career that you want, then it feels like you don't know who you are anymore, right? And that shouldn't be a place, that's not a place I want you to find yourself at. What's more important is to figure out your strengths. When you're young, you should figure out what your strengths and your talents are, who God created you to be. And then as you get older, which can be, any age for you, but you start working on, once you figure out those talents, start working on how to use them, how to apply them, maybe figure out what careers or situations or um, places or people that those talents are good at helping, and what ways you're good at helping and adding to society. And then later in your life, you can learn to master those talents. I've heard stories of people where you're great at leadership, you're great at, and this is not me, but you're great at galvanizing people toward one common goal, right? And if that's who you are, then uh, understanding that talent and that strength allows you to do that in any capacity. You could do that working for a church, you could do that working for a big company. Like, that is sort of a helpful role that you know that you're good at, that can apply to a lot of different situations or jobs. And maybe you're really good with animals, but don't feel like, oh, man, I trained animals and now I can't be an animal trainer. I don't know what to do with my life, right? Like, okay, well, maybe you're good with animals, so then you can groom animals, and then because you know how to calm them down to be able to do that, right? Maybe not the best example, but my point is that there are specific things that God gave you, inherent gifts, inherent strengths and talents that God will grow the more that you seek Him in your life and seek to give those things back to Him, use them to honor Him, right? So I want you to just be thinking about, meditating on, and trying to apply in the different situations of your life what strengths you have, what you're good at. Because when you figure out those things, it opens up a whole playground of possible things that you could do, that you enjoy doing, that you're good at, that God is calling you to, and there's a whole plethora of things there, right? But just don't get so attached to the idea of like this career, when God gave you these inherent strengths that He wants to use in better ways than you could ever use knowing them, right? Because God's plans are so much greater than our plans, and we focus on all the problems, and He sees way past that. He has an aerial view of how it's going to turn out. Also, check out this awesome album, Better by the Water by Sunday. So good, so good.